바로 루키리그 4조 피칭 시작해 보겠습니다. 다음 평가에는 Laurent, Director of Alchemist Accelerator, LB인베스트먼트 구중회 전무님, SBVA 박영진 이사님이 자리해 주셨습니다. 귀한 시간을 내주신 세 분께 감사 인사드립니다. 자, 이제 다음 컴업 스타즈를 만나보기 전 다시 한번 진행 방식에 대해 안내해 드리겠습니다. 지금부터 만나보실 기업은 루키리그 소속의 기업들로 누적 투자 유치액 10억 원 미만의 초기 기업입니다. 루키리그 피칭은 5개 조, 각 6개 사로 진행되며 각 조의 2등까지 내일 진행될 파이널 피칭에 진출하게 되고 각 기업들은 6분 발표 후 평가위원과 5분간 질의응답을 진행하게 됩니다. 컴업이 글로벌 스타트업 축제인 만큼 해외에서도 많은 컴업 스타즈 분들이 참여해 주셨는데요. 영문 피칭을 편하게 들으실 수 있도록 저희 객석 뒤쪽에 실시간 통역 QR코드 준비해 두었습니다. 필요하신 분들은 뒤쪽에서 이용해 주시면 되겠습니다. 네, 그럼 4조의 포문을 열 기업을 온라인을 통해 바로 만나보도록 하겠습니다. Please join me in welcoming Techeagle to the stage for their pitch.
Yeah, hi. Do let me know when can I start? Okay. So, hello everyone. My name is Yash, and I'm part of the founders office team at Techeagle. So, at Techeagle, we are building an on-demand drone delivery network for transforming lives with universal access to logistics and healthcare. So, for example, you are in a hilly terrain, living in a remote region of any part of the world, and suddenly something happened to you. It could be a snake bite, or it could be due to some other issues. It could be a heart attack or anything. So the time that it takes for the help to reach you is quite much because of the hilly terrain, and there are certain other factors affecting it. So this is the major problem we are working on, and I'll share more details on the solution as we move ahead in our presentation. So, due to this problem of slow and expensive logistics, every hour more than 35,000 parcels get delayed in terms of e-commerce. More than 500 people loses their lives because the healthcare doesn't reaches them on time. And there are some other factors where there are rising carbon emissions, and a lot of blood units gets wasted, approximately 50% all over the world. So we are solving this by a hub and spoke based drone delivery network, wherein there is a central hub that operates as the storage facility or the inventory, and there are certain nodes where the delivery could be made possible. It could be in remote region or anywhere in a radius of 100 kilometer from that hub. And all of this solution is AI and 5G enabled at every aspect, from designing to operations. Everything has AI embedded, and the whole network is 5G enabled. So these are our couple of products, wherein Vertiplane X3 is our flagship product that has a max range of 100 kilometer, speed of 120 kilometers per hour. And the best part is this is designed and developed in-house at Techeagle, and we are manufacturing this at our own facility in India. So we are just not building drones. We are building drones and supporting infrastructures that includes hardware, embedded softwares, and other softwares that support the whole operation from manufacturing to operations. Every aspect of our solution is being served by these softwares. Then we are providing these services on a DRaaS model or drone delivery as a service model. And we have already partnered with major clients that include World Bank and our prestigious government of India and different states government in India. We are the only company in India that has permissions and approvals to fly in the red zones. These are the restricted zones where you can't fly drones until you are allowed. These are some of the current and potential includes e-commerce, quick commerce, healthcare, disaster management, maritime, and defense. So this is our current metrics, wherein we have a pipeline of daily flights of 1,500 daily drone flights. Currently, we are serving 50 plus daily flights and 200 plus routes. We have more than 40 B2B and B2G clients currently, and we have done more than 50,000 flight hours of testing, with more than 2 ton of payload delivered to the remote regions of various parts of India. And we have done more than 5 lakh kilometers of parcel deliveries, and we had already deployed 40 plus drones. So the difference between the traditional delivery method is and Techeagle solution is basically the carbon emissions that are being spit into the atmosphere and the time it takes to for the parcels to reach the desired audience. Due to the inefficiencies in the traditional logistics, the drones are the future, and we are here to build them. This is our team with Mr. Vikram Singh. He is the founder and CEO and has more than 10 years of experience in aerospace. And both of the founders are already featured in Forbes 30 Under 30 Asia list of 2022. And we have Mr. Gaurav as well. He is the head of business growth and strategy with more than 16 years of experience. All of our founders and senior management are from prestigious institutions from India. These are few of the clients and partners. We are developing tech aspect of our solution with Qualcomm, NXP, etc. And we have already done partnerships with World Economic Forum, World Bank, Drone Federation of India, Smart Village Movement as well. These are few of the awards that we had won and the media houses we have been featured into. These are the galleries. This is the gallery wherein where we have enabled our drone delivery solution and network. So the first pick here is where when we launched Asia's first drone delivery hub and network in Meghalaya back in 2022 in collaboration with World Bank. And currently more than 25 locations are being served on a day-to-day basis, wherein we have reduced the time it takes for the healthcare to reach people drastically by 25 times. So for example, there was a location that used to take around 8 hours to reach by road, but we had done it within 20 minutes. So worldwide drone delivery network is our vision and transforming lives with universal access to healthcare logistics. Techeagle is here. Thank you.
Thank you for your wonderful pitch. And now we will proceed with the Q&A sessions with our judges.
Sure. Thank you.
Hi, this is Laurent with Alchemist Accelerator. Thank you so much for the lovely pitch. I love this space and had a couple of questions. Zipline comes to mind for me in what you're doing. Can you please speak to the differentiation that you have with compared to a company like Zipline?
Sure. So, what Zipline is doing, they are doing forward logistics only. Once the drone takes off from their catapult type of system, it just goes to that location, drops it, and comes back. In our solution, we have also enabled the reverse logistics part, wherein we have enabled it by using tall drones. That is, the drones are taking off and landing vertically, just taking 5 by 5 meter square of area. So we have made possible both forward and reverse logistics. So that is the key differentiator between us and Zipline.
Okay, so that's on a hardware level, you're differentiated by being eVTOL.
Use case level as well. So their use case is forward logistics. Ours is forward as well as reverse. So for example, if we are delivering to a facility, we are delivering blood to that particular facility. In reverse logistics, we can collect samples as well from that facility, and all of those samples can be tested at the central facility of government. So I'll give you an example. In Meghalaya is a state of India. It used to take around 7 days, 6 to 7 days for the blood testing report to come. But because of the implementation of our solution, we are able to deliver that particular report within a couple of days, rather than patients waiting for a week for the report.
Thank you.
Thank you for your IR. Okay. My first question is, can you explain the payload, the limitation? I mean, the weight and the distance. And second question is, how can your company ensure safety and security? Because air control is a very, especially the government is very concerned about the safety issue. So how can ensure it? safety and your
Sure.
security in your drone and the delivery.
Sure. So, answering the first question with respect to the payload, so our flagship product is currently having payload capacity of 5 kg with a 100 kilometer range. The next product that we are working on, prototyping is done, is that product will have a payload capacity of 40 kgs and a range of 300 kilometers. Now coming on to the second question of safety and security. So everything that we have put in, it could be the communication system or the propulsion system, it is a redundant propulsion system. That makes our drones fail safe. With respect to the cyber security part, we have done 128-bit encryption, making it safe from hackers and cyber attacks. And along with it, as we already have the permission to fly in the red zone, that are the restricted zones. So that gives the testament to the safety and security levels of the drones that are manufactured by us.
Thank you for your inspiring presentation. I have short two questions. You said government approval. Your company received government approval as a first company in India. So, is there any possibility for other companies to get additional approval going forward? It was first question. Second one is, I'm wondering about the other Indian logistics companies and global logistics companies' reaction on our penetration on the drone market.
Yeah, sure. So answering the first question with respect to approvals in the restricted zone. So first thing is, we are the only company to fly in those restricted zones that are red zones defined by the Government of India. So we are the first company to it, and definitely in the future, if other competitors are able to build machines that have that, like, if they qualify the system put in by the Government of India, then definitely they can get. Then answering the second question with respect to reaction from the logistics company. So they have very good, we have received a very good recognition from them, and even a lot, we are partnering with the existing logistics company. For example, Cetix and Shiprocket in India for this particular logistics for the last mile delivery part of the logistics in India. And apart from that, we have also done collaboration with Astral Aviation. We have MOU signed Astral Aviation is in the Middle East. They are also partners of us. So we are well received by the logistics company, the current ones.
Thank you very much.
I just had one final question. Supply chain and drone building is challenging and difficult. And I was wondering, what's your production capacity at today as far as yearly production, and what are your goals on production capacity? That's one. And then two, can you tell me a little bit about your supply chain as far as where you're drawing components from?
Sure. So answering the first question with respect to the capacity. So currently we can manufacture up to 10 drones per month with the current capacity and the current team. Then, and since we have everything in-house, right from prototyping to the final product, so this capacity can be increased anytime, whenever, based on the requirement. So we have this reduced capacity due to the demand in the market, or based on the demand in the market. Now coming on to the second question on the supply chain for our whole. So our product is 90% indigenous. That is, all the parts and everything are from India. The rest we are importing from Europe.
Okay, that's amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for such insightful Q&As, and once again, thank you for the excellent pitch. 다음 기업 바로 만나보도록 하겠습니다. 이번 기업도 온라인으로 찾아와 주셨는데요. Perculus 모셔보도록 하겠습니다. Please join me in welcoming Perculus to the stage for the pitch.
Okay, sorry for that. I'll try to be quicker now. So I'm Cem, co-founder and CEO of Perculus. So I'd like you to meet my son Atlas. During the pandemic, we have seen this scene in our homes everywhere. He's in his room. On the iPad, we can see his teachers speaking and teaching, and his textbook under his feet, and then he's reading comics. That was a very typical scene during the pandemic that we have witnessed at our homes, and we found that the reason for that is the lack of engagement. And engagement is very important for all kinds of learning, including online and in class, because without engagement, there is always distractions, lack of motivation, decreased knowledge retention, and lack of clarity. So the learning doesn't really come true. And also, high levels of interaction also means perceived high levels of learning. So it increases the happiness of all kinds of learners. To do so, what we have to do is we have to empower the instructors because they need tools to manage this kind of learning in all places. That's why we have built all-in-one engagement suite for instructors, Perculus. And Perculus is a tool, like a video conferencing tool. It can be used in class also. It has an integrated infinite whiteboard where you can draw and ask questions. You can have games, guessing game. And you can ask questions, do the assessments. You can monitor who is participating, who is not, who is answering what, who is learning, and who is not. And also you can work on different kinds of documents together. You can boards, collaborative boards. There are icebreakers when people are joining from distant places. Maybe you need icebreakers for those people who don't know each other. We also take attendance on real time every 10 minutes on random intervals for each person, that if they are there or not. There's a flow where you can plan all your activities beforehand and you reuse them. You can share documents, work on them collaboratively. You can share videos. The instructor controls the video so they can start or stop or seek to wherever they want. But frankly speaking, I always get the comment that we can do all of this using different systems together. But what we have done is that we follow all the actions that are taken by each student, and we create an engagement score for each person and an engagement score for the class. This allows us to help the instructor to show them that the learning isn't happening and they have to take some action. And now we are developing an AI assistant to the instructor that will create these activities or suggest these activities for the instructor. On the other hand, on the management level, in a large organization, the management can see which courses are going well and not. So this is the engagement score. And so in Perculus, we try to engage everywhere. So in Perculus, all-in-one with the video conferencing, it can be used in classrooms, or it can be used in Zoom, WebEx, other video conferencing software as an engagement tool. Our team consists of 10 people. I'm responsible for non-technical part, and Zafer, my co-founder, is responsible for the technical part. We also have Cengiz Beyan, our advisor for video conferencing part. We have a pre-seed investor, WealthRyse Ventures from Turkey, and we have raised $400,000 at a $4 million valuation. Our technological highlights are that we are all based on let's say, license requiring products. These are open source platforms that we are using. It's been beta tested with 2 million users during the pandemic. And we have no license dependencies, which makes us easy to deploy our solution on any infrastructure, on any country. We are also doing research on Media over Quick. It's a new protocol that's coming out. Now it's in the IETF, and it will be an industry standard in the future. And we are actively working on this, which will increase the quality of media streamed over the internet, including video on demand, live video streaming. All of these protocols will merge into one. So we are also actively working on this IETF, Internet Engineering Task Force group. We have 2 million users in Turkey, and we have a few clients in MENA region, including the Turkish Armed Forces, Qatar Armed Forces, where we deploy on-premise, Turkish Telecom, some friendly names for the Korean friends like the Hyundai and Samsung in Turkey are also our clients. And now we are going global. Our customer segments are universities, tutoring companies where online tutoring is getting a lot of traction, individual trainers or small training companies, and also enterprise and government institutions are our clients. And I would like to thank you. Currently, actually, we were raising funds, but now we closed our round. Our goal is to get some partners in Korea to make business together. Thank you.
Thank you for the wonderful pitch. And now let us proceed with the Q&A sessions with our judges.
Hi. Thank you for the amazing pitch. Really, really great to hear this space, and congratulations on the round being closed. I'm curious to know a little bit about the 2 million users, and that's a big number. Can you get a little bit into the metrics that you're looking at? What are the metrics that drive the success of your company as far as the leading metrics that get you to the 2 million users that arrive to a successful client?
Sure. Most of our users are from university students. Universities use it a lot for online training. We are very focused on the instructors being able to use very easily planning and easily delivering their courses. Some of the metrics that we do is we follow up the number of minutes that's been spent in the classrooms. That's one metric. The other one is our engagement score and attendance score. We have 2 scores. These are very important because everybody wants to know in an environment where the students do not turn on their cameras, you don't know actually who is there and who is not. So we are trying to solve this problem by this metric. Yeah, these are the 2 important metrics that we focus on.
Excellent, thank you. And to follow up on this is, when you're looking at global expansion, what are the challenges that you see ahead for you, specifically in expanding globally? What are the things on product market fit that you feel might be different in other regions than in Turkey?
Yeah, so I mean, now everybody has a solution for video conferencing. That's why we are not only targeting video conferencing, but also in-class interactions. So we need partners to go to market in other countries. I mean, we are very strong in Turkey as we are based in Turkey, but in other countries we need locals who are well settled there to do this business. So we are looking into integrations with other systems. We are looking into powerful partners that can drive our software into the market. Currently, we are having good partners in Saudi, Qatar, Dubai, UAE. So we are working in that region mostly. And now through our partners, we are expanding in the region.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Could you explain I mentioned it's a breakout room. It's some kind of a small group of conference system. So could you explain the more detail? What is the difference in the conference the tools comparing to?
Actually, in terms of breakout rooms, I mean, you can easily manage it. We have a little better management, but frankly speaking, it's not a major function of the system. It's pretty standard all video conferencing. What we do different from other video conferencing is our engagement. So we follow up all the actions of the student, and we can easily report without using video or anything visual. We can report if the student's actually participating or it is involved in the lesson. So in terms of breakout rooms, I can't really say we are too different from others.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. My first question is on your product. So you are PhD in marketing, and your CTO is PhD in video streaming. So when we look at the slide, I think the strong point in terms of the technology is video streaming. So regarding competitive edge, so how can you compete with the top-notch global video streaming companies? And second one is related to the first question. So you said that engagement a lot. So I think the engagement is one of the strong point on your product. So how it is different from others?
Sure. So let me start with the video part. It's really hard to compete, frankly speaking, but we are working on new upcoming technologies. So we implemented today's technology, which is WebRTC, but the upcoming technologies like Media Quick and that's CDNs and everything that's coming up. We are preparing for that to make a difference. Currently, we are catching up with the big players. I mean, we don't have less than them, but we don't have more than them also. So we are just at the same level, but we want to adopt this new technology very quick to make an edge there. On the engagement side, we have all the activities. So Perculus comes with engagement activities. So it's used in classroom without the video streaming, normal classroom. So what we do is we bring in lots of activities that can be prepared ahead of time, and it can be reused in different classes. Like, for example, as a presenter, you have probably multiple slides, and then you go to a conference and you select the slides and just adapt it to the conference and present it. Same like this, you have activities. These can be questions, quizzes, guessing games, brainstorming sessions, icebreakers, whatever it is. You can prepare them and you can mix and match and use it in the class. And when you have these activities, the participants have more fun. They answer, and you can from there they understand if they are actively there or not. So this is like we have, I think, around 30 activities right now, and we are still adding more. With the help of the AI, we will create these activities automatically based on the presentation and the speech that the instructor is giving. Currently, we are prototyping and testing this, and then we will have an AI assistant that will help the instructor to create these activities on real time.
Thank you.
One last question. Do you see a future in which you don't need the live instructor, the live teacher?
Speaking, no. The need can be reduced, but it's never gonna be happening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for such interesting and engaging Q&As. Once again, and thank you for joining us from afar. 네, 4조의 세 번째 기업은 다시 현장에서 만나보겠습니다. Please join me in welcoming Nature Preserve to the stage with a warm round of applause.
Hi, I'm Hansol, a CSO at Nature Preserve. And at Nature Preserve, we provide LCA software service. But before we begin, what is LCA? So LCA stands for Life Cycle Analysis or Assessment, which analyzes all the inputs and outputs when you make any product, or it also considers your organization, what goes in and what comes out. So what do we do with this result? So the result comes as environmental footprint, or more generally speaking, it's more common as carbon footprint. You can make a sustainable decision. So you can consider all those results and make better product in sustainability perspective. But it's still pretty much like a nice to have tool. because sustainability always has been a buzzword. It's not really quantifiable and doesn't really create you additional cost. But recently, all this protectionism in trades and all the tax schemes are emerging, and these things are pushing the LCA tool as must-have. So it's creating additional cost, and it actually affects you to sell better products and better sales. So Nature Preserve does exactly support this. Using our software platform, you can easily map your supply chain, and the insightful dashboard and emission reduction suggestions can lead to create your product much better in both in sustainability and also economic way. So we help this to first you measure and reduce and cut your operational costs, and these are all based on global standards and guidelines. Today, Nature Preserve operates within the agri-food sector, and agri-food sector is known as responsible for 1/3 of global greenhouse gas emissions. But still, we see there are 3 major challenges in this sector. Number 1 is data collection. So the more you collect the data, the calculated result becomes more accurate. That's obvious. But on the other hand, the more data you collect from the user, this significantly drops the usability. So you just scare off the user on the platform, and you can't make any business. And number 2 is, even so you collected all the data from the users, how are you going to validate those data is true or not? And it's a huge risk in this sector about, it's called greenwashing. It could be intended or unintended. The wrong input from the user can lead in wrong result. So this validation burden is another risk. And number 3, still this all the LCA software use is not fully mandatory. So there are some lack of incentive structure that makes user on board early as possible. So these 3 are the major challenges we are seeing at the moment. So to make a breakthrough, we started incorporate the satellite imaging technology by collaboration with Nara Space. It's a South Korean company. So through this, we could streamline all the process. So data collection from all the digital images can streamline the process by minimizing the data collection from the user. And this, in the same time, the reliability increases and the validation burden can be avoided. It also provides incentive structure in the platform, such as the vegetation monitoring, so you can increase your efficiency of your resource use, like fertilizer or irrigation. And also you can predict your harvest yield beforehand, so you can act before your harvest actually happens. So the carbon accounting software market today is sized at around $18 billion, but it will increase more than 5 times within 8 years. Since our first launch last year, we are keep increasing the number of clients and also licensing deals. One of the key licensing deals was with Alfa Laval, which is a global food processing machinery player. So our business model, on one hand, is subscription. So we are learning a lot in very unique needs and various needs from the players within the food system. And on the other hand, from the licensing deals, we are acquiring a big chunk of a customer group that belongs to the licensing companies. So our vision, since our commercialization, next year, early next year, we are planning to release the Free for Farmers tool So the primary production is always the first step in this, especially plant-based food products. So we are trying to provide the easy-to-use tool and maximize our exposure. And in the coming year, we are planning to release the API product that we've been developing, so we could be a new provider within the LCA field and diversify our revenue stream. And after that, we are also ready for expand our business to go beyond the food sector. Yeah, our team is has 4 co-founders with a diverse background in science and service designing, and also in developing. Yes, so connect with us to empower food manufacturers to design and sell better products. Thank you.
Thank you for your impressive pitch. Now let's move on to the Q&A session with our judges.
Okay, thank you for your lecture. Actually, I didn't get your vision is on detail because you show us just a picture. So could you explain the how to commercializations and for with some sample or some your future client? And second question is, please explain your team in the background and the career, on the detail.
So for the commercialization, we are reaching out to individual players, and also selling our products on the web platform. And we are actually getting more than we wanted, but to keep our customer happy, we are not really expanding the number of clients right now. So we are on the other hand, we are expanding, putting our energy to make a great licensing deal, which can give us a good amount of revenue and also great sales through their customer network. So that's our commercialization plan at the moment. And what was the second question?
Your team background.
Team background.
On the detail.
Yeah, so my background is in agriculture and the crop development. And our CEO he's been managing all in the food supply chain management before his PhD. And our commercialization officer has a service design background from the business school, and our CTO is a full stack developer. So he manages all the front end and back end for our software tool.
혹시 덴마크에서 시작한 배경이 창업자가 계시기 때문인지가 궁금했고요. 왜냐하면 시장 관점에서 덴마크가 최적의 마켓인지 잘 제가 몰라서 그게 궁금했고요. 네, 두 번째는 사실 소프트웨어가 어떻게 구동되는지 잘 몰라서, 그러니까 라이센스 피를 받는 모델이라고 말씀 들었는데 어떤 소프트웨어를 말씀하시는지 구체적으로 좀 설명해 줄 수 있을까요?
한국말로 대답해도
제가 사실 시스템 잘 몰라서 일단 네네. 네.
편하신 언어로 해주시면 될 것 같습니다.
그 시스템 자체는 저희가 이제 기본으로 저희가 갖고 있는 그 서플라이 체인 디벨롭 그 매핑 툴이나 아니면 계산 툴 자체를 그 회사 이름 아래에 넣어서 그 회사가 그 회사의 커스터머들이랑 이제 거기에 들어올 수 있게 하는 겁니다. 그래서 예를 들어서 알파라발 같은 그 머시너리 기업 같은 경우는 자기의 머신을 쓰는 다른 프로세싱 그 기업들이 들어와서 자기 프로세싱 라인을 거기다 넣고 이게 얼마나 이제 효율적으로 돌아가는지, 그 예를 들어서 뭐 탄소 배출 관점에서 얼마나 효율적으로 돌아가는지를 테스트해 볼 수 있고, 그거보다 더 나은 시나리오를 받아서 그럼 요걸 할 때 어떤 기계를 써야 되는지 이제 할 수 있는 그런 세일즈 툴로 지금 사용이 되고 있습니다. 그리고 지금 덴마크에서 창업한 이유는 이제 제가 덴마크에 박사후 연구원으로 가서 거기서 이제 창업을 해가지고 된 거고요. 덴마크가 지금 사실 이쪽에 거의 포프런트에 있는 위치라고 생각하셔도 될 것 같습니다. 아무래도 유럽이 이런 것들의 규제가 가장 심하기도 하고, 거기서 제일 덴마크도 EU 안에서도 더 앞서 나가서 그런 레귤레이션들을 만들기도 하기 때문에 네, 그 관점에서는 알맞은 위치에 있는 것 같습니다.
I had a quick question. How much do you see your product as relying upon a regulatory environment? What happens if the EU stops being the EU and regulation goes away?
That's the question I never thought about. So right now we are quite flexible. So whatever the guideline is, there's always a regulation of this should be calculated as this, that should be calculated as that. So you can flexibly select the guideline that you want to follow. But your final question is, what if EU just removes all the regulations away?
It's a little bit provocative, but the question is really on how much is your business hinging upon an increasingly stringent regulatory framework?
So for that sense, I think our additional tool, apart from calculating the footprint, is also how to efficiently manage your operation. So for example, if you are doing a food processing machine business, then it not only lowers your emissions, but you can think about how you can efficiently use your energy source or heat source, whatever that goes into your production line, which is still related with your operational cost. So apart from the footprint, it's still valid. That's my take here.
Excellent, thank you. And then when you're looking at your strategy right now to work with machine producers as opposed to working directly with brands, do you see yourself continuing down that licensing strategy moving forward as you look to expand beyond Denmark?
Yeah, so we want to keep this license deal and see what's going to happen. Because we also don't know what will be the actual pros and cons in the long relationship. So right now we are I think it's a win-win situation at the moment, because we gained a lot of customer groups from their network. So that's actually plus. But yeah, it's not so definitive at the moment.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for the insightful Q&As, and once again, thank you for such interesting pitch. 그럼 다음으로 4조의 네 번째 기업 NSS 워터를 만나보도록 하겠습니다. Please join me in welcoming NSS Water to the stage for their pitch.
안녕하세요. My name is Bjorn Holmstrom. I'm the CEO and founder of NSS Water. Did you know that up to 65% of the most advanced semiconductor computer chips today are going to waste? And that low yield leads to higher consumer prices and higher prices for the manufacturers. A semiconductor fab also uses up to 10 million liters of water each day. This is due to nano-contamination in the manufacturing process, the killer particles, as we say. Killer particles are nano-contamination larger than what you try to manufacture. If you try to manufacture a node with 3 nanometer, and you have contamination that's bigger than this, this is a big threat to your computer chip. There's a big need to remove this nano-contamination to increase yield. And there's a huge amount of water used in the semiconductor manufacturing process. This is because you rinse the wafers over and over again in different processes. This is where the nano-contamination appears. Most semiconductor fabs are also placed in regions with high water stress. There's not enough water for the semiconductor fabs. This is an example how it can look when you have bad water on your wafer. Here you can clearly see that you have water that's been dried on a wafer. You can clearly see the dry spots on the wafer. And this is magnified. You see the contamination on the wafer. Our solution is called WET, which stands for Water Enhancement Tool. WET is a process and equipment for making the world's first nano-pure water. This is a unique patent process technology and design And we also have the patents here now in South Korea. Wet can come in different configurations to meet the different customer needs and also to meet the different markets. For example, you can also use this within the life science market. The unique features of wet is that we can deliver extreme high purity water. We can reduce the water and chemical use. It's also something new that we call a point of use technology, meaning produce and use, where you actually produce the water as close to the tool as possible. Or in some cases, you can even produce the water directly inside the tool. It's cost effective, it requires very low maintenance. It's scalable core technology, meaning that if you make a large system or a small system, the technology stays the same. It's a non-selective technology, meaning that we set up a barrier and we remove everything larger than 5 nanometers at this point, because that's where we can measure. So we put a barrier and we have nothing above that. We can reduce the water usage with up to 90% in certain steps. This is done because of the extreme purity of the water. Then you need less water. We don't use any chemicals in our process whatsoever. We only need water and electricity to actually produce our water. And we can reuse the wastewater from the process and take it back and use it in rinse processes again. This is actually our first product. We call this Wet Nano 1, and we say from tap to lab. This means that we did some tests showing that if we take regular tap water, put it in our system, you will have lab-grade water ready to use directly in your lab. Today, you need to take tap water, you have to put it through a reverse osmosis system to another system, and then use it in the lab. We can actually cut that step because this technology can make that kind of pure water. If you look at the ultra-pure water market, it's an expanding market. We see that new factories are being built all over the world, or even here in Korea as well, Samsung, SK Hynix. But we can also target the semiconductor equipment manufacturer market as well. Our business model is B2B and B2C, depending on use case. We have our wet semi system. That's the application for semiconductor use. Wet Nano 1 is the most like for life science laboratory. We can also sell the wet purification modules, to example, let's say applied materials, they're making wafer cleaners, they can buy the wet purification model and the process and then put in their application. We can have a yearly fee for service, there can be leasing options. We are now looking for production partners. We have some talks here in Korea as well. We have active users today at the Lund University in Lund, in Gothenburg University. We have signed sales contract as well. Go-to-market plan very quickly. Next year we'll focus a lot on Wet Nano 1. We're looking for the production partners here in Korea. Year after that we're going to do the wet semi and all the collaborate with IMEC, Fraunhofer, Korean Nanofab and more. Some achievements, we just got selected by Berkeley University in Silicon Valley to Skydeck, their fund invested in our company. I done the K-Startup Grand Challenge 2 years ago. We won some innovation awards in Sweden as well. If you look at the team, a diverse team, we have semiconductor experts, semiconductor backgrounds, PhD and so on. As I said, I'm the CEO, Bengt is head of production. We do have an office here in Seoul together with Business Sweden, so we have our own entity here in Korea as well. Yeah, we're going to do a seed round next year to bring in about €2 million that we will scale up our team with and reach the market. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing the innovative idea with us. Now we'll proceed with the Q&A session with our judges.
Super exciting space right now to be in. Do you have units currently with customers? What's the status of readiness right now and POCs, et cetera?
Yes, we do. We work with a Swedish semiconductor company called Alix Labs, which is the process for atomic layer etching. So they will use it's going to be the first 12-inch wafer infrastructure in Sweden. So we will provide the water for them. We provide water for Lund University Nanofabrication Lab and Chalmers University Technology Nanofabrication Lab. And we have a signed sell contract, so we're going to sell to additional market for actually skincare. So that's where we are at the moment. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay. The high fuel water is very long, and already the big guy is the occupied market. So I used to be the etching engineer, process engineer, so I'm pretty knowledgeable about this area. So my first question is, there are a lot of the method, RO and EDI, and so what kind of technology use in your product? And second question is, it depends on the scalability in your future market in the SBVA decided. So if we wanted to sell your product in LG, Hynix, and Samsung, you should prove your scalability. So what is the main target, and then what is your scalability, the strategy?
Yes, so let's start with scalability first. We see that to get into, let's say, SK, Samsung, you will work with their preferred suppliers, the ones that actually makes the equipment for them. Like say, Samsung has, what's it called, SEMES. I met them actually yesterday. So that you work with the suppliers, and you can work also with the institutes, IMEC, Fraunhofer. So you scale up through that. That's how we think. If you look at scalability of a product, it could be anything. I actually have the core module here. This is a 3D printed version, right? It's a very small one, right? But this can be scaled. So what we do is that you have these modules, and you can stack them as many as you want, basically, and you can make them larger. So you just stack them or make them larger to fit what customer need you might have. But it's very important to know that when you have this pure water, you need less of the water. So we don't need to make as much water as before. And you mentioned what? We're not trying to work in the ultra pure water fab that they have. We're not replacing this. This is kind of an add-on, like, as I said, it's produce and use, like as close to the tool as possible. You can put it inside the tool. You can have it at sub-level in the semiconductor fab. So there's a different ways of doing it. You can have it front end of line. You can have it back end of line. So it's a very many different applications. But this is, as I said, this can be scaled up. We have scaled up, so we can just calculate what we need for certain applications.
The market in business item is very interesting, but I want to ask about the technology barrier. So the company is early stage startup, but you already developed the product and negotiate with your potential partners.
Yes.
So your technology barrier is high to penetrate in from other competitors. And also, it is protected. The technology is well protected by the patents.
Yeah, we have a patent family of 4 today, which is globally patented right now. So it's South Korea, Taiwan, Japan, Europe, US, and everything. We're going to expand next year by increasing to have about 6 patents that will be globally. And since we have an entity here in Korea as well, this is one of our main focus markets. So next year we're going to scale up and also hire some more people here. But it's all protected by our patents. And you have a process and you have the design, and this needs to work together. If you only have the design but not the process, it's not going to work, right? So that's why there's some level of technology knowledge that you need to have as well. So we feel very well protected in that sense.
Thank you for the interesting questions.
Thank you.
And thank you for the excellent pitch. 이번에는 5번째 기업이죠. 칼페이를 다시 온라인으로 만나보겠습니다. Please welcome KalPay to the stage for their pitch.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us. You may begin whenever you're ready.
to meet Khalid, business owner in Pakistan, who needs access to a smartphone to deliver products online. Unfortunately, is unable to get access to any sort of credit. In a similar story for a young student, Amna, who is studying at a private institute, but unfortunately, due to financial barriers, she is unable to complete her education. Now, 1 in 5 people in Pakistan have access to a formal financial account. We're talking about financial inclusion rates of less than 21%. Now, when you talk about credit, we're talking about 1 in 220 people having a credit card. That's just 1 million credit cards for more than 220 million people in the country. And where do the other users go? They resort to informal lenders where they're exploited. We're talking about 300 and 400% being charged as interest rates. That's where KalPay comes in. We, through our solution, are empowering the underserved segments with digitized lending services. And using technology, we are enabling a wider reach and access for our consumers. Our mission is to extend credit to the underbanked for a hassle-free experience. And by using technology and data, we are ensuring that we do it safely and responsibly. Our vision is to bringing financial well-being to all customers. We have 2 verticals under us. The largest one is KalPay, where we give out loans assets. We are working with their riders to get smartphones on installments, and we're working with freelancers and early stage professionals and allowing them to purchase products and travel loans as well. Then we started with KalPay Taaleem, which is one of the only education financing institutes in Pakistan. And over here, we're giving our customers the ability to get educational loans for as high as share that we are the first AI-enabled digital lending entity in the country. We have built over the past 3 to 5 months a WhatsApp-based chatbot that enables users to get a personalized user experience. We do their KYC over WhatsApp, and all of this is being done instantly over 24/7 because we do not want our consumers to go through the hassle of downloading a mobile application. So the end-to-end process of processing a loan is being done through a chatbot over WhatsApp. The process is fairly simple. The customer using our chatbot submits their interest. We verify their profile by doing automated KYC. On the back end, we have a credit scoring engine that gives out a credit score against the customer based on the data, and the order is confirmed, and the customer, in a few minutes to a few hours, are able to get access to credit compared to banks over here taking as long as 6 to 8 weeks to disburse loans. The opportunity is huge. This only for Pakistan is more than a 20 billion market. We're talking about more than 15 billion for devices in the country and more than 200 universities with 300 people enrolled, 3 million people enrolled currently. We started with our MVP back in late 21. Since then, we have closed a pre-seed round, and earlier this year, we broke past 3 years. We have had major milestones and have partnered with multiple different entities such as Samsung, financial institutions, and banks and entities like Ford, InDrive, and Kareem as well. Our previous year, we had a growth of 128%. This year, in revenue, we are very close to achieving 60%. And for GMV, we closed at 95% last year, and we are envisioning a further growth of around 70 to 75% this year as well. So far, we have disbursed around $3.4 million worth of loans with an annualized $400,000. We have more than 70,000 customers across the country signed up for our platform with more than 22,000 loans dispersed through our AI-enabled platform. We have around 15 educational institutes onboarded and more than 65 corporate partners, including entities like Samsung, working with us for our product services. This year, we plan on continuing on the profitability path by reaching around $1 million worth of ARR. And one of the major milestones that we have is launching AI voice node support and becoming the first lender in the region to enable that. Essentially, what you're trying to achieve is that the customers should be able to get all our services over voice notes as well, because we are operating in emerging markets, and over here, not all of the users are literate, and enabling voice notes for lending would be a huge milestone for us. And then I'm happy to introduce KalPay 3.0. This is our becoming a global company. We are empowering global fintechs and financial institutions by giving our technology to early stage fintech companies. We already are working with a few companies across the globe and one in Korea as well. We are backed by local and global VCs and angel investors and some local financial institutions. I'm the CEO and founder. This is my third company. Second time founder as well, with more than 9 years of experience in the technology field, and Hassan, who's a founding member and a chief commercial officer, bringing more than 13 years worth of experience. We're currently raising a $2 million pre-Series A round on safe note. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the wonderful pitch. Now let's move on to the Q&A session with our judges.
Hi, thank you very much for the pitch. This is a fascinating area of banking the unbanked. I love the area, so thank you for working on that. My question is this a fee-based service for the people lending money, or are they paying interest back, or are they paying a fee in order to get access?
So we actually have both models. In the first one, the customers pay a fixed fee to get access to our loans, because we are making revenue on the back end as well. So whenever I'm purchasing a product from a vendor, I'm getting a discount on that. So I don't need to pass on that cost to the customer. So we actually do that at 0% as well, with a very minimum fixed fee, around $1 or $2. But for longer term loans, charging the customer an interest rate, which is very similar to what's being charged by credit cards here in the country as well.
All right, excellent. And then, so what are your plans right now to look at the Pakistani market? When will you know that it's time to look outside of Pakistan towards a more global market? What are the indicators?
So
what's the trigger points? Yeah.
Yeah, so currently we're trying to get exposure of the global market by allowing companies to use or leverage on our technology, especially with the AI-enabled lending module that we have built recently. We have gotten interest from companies in Saudi and Malaysia and Canada already, but this is the technology part. In terms of going out of the country, in terms of as a lender ourselves, our plan is to start exploring the region by end of 2025, and by 26, that's when we plan on moving out. We're especially looking at other emerging markets in North Africa, in like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, because these are very similar markets, and they have very similar problems compared to us. So our expertise right now in terms of giving out loans in emerging markets where there's lack of data, where the legal processes are not as robust, and generally people don't have a lot of dependency on credit. So even if their credit score is affected, customers generally don't bother about it as they would in other developed markets.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your reaction. Okay. I cannot remember the exact name, but 10 years ago, one of the microfinancing startup in Pakistan. So I heard, and then now in more than 10 microfinance company in there. So how is the growing or the situation of a microfinance sector, not the only data, offline or whole totally?
So in terms of the microfinance, we actually have quite a few microfinance banks operating in Pakistan, but the challenge over there is mandated by the State Bank of Pakistan. A microfinance bank can only give out a productive loan, so they're focusing on agriculture. They're focusing on small businesses. So generally the use case that we cover those are not being catered to by microfinance, and microfinance banks are generally present in rural areas. So, we're talking about freelancers, which is a huge, around a $4 billion plus economy in Pakistan. We're talking about students, we're talking about women. They are still left out of the financial network, and those are the people that we are trying to, give access to.
Thank you for the presentation. Can you please say the recent delinquency rate trend? So I think it is very important for your business.
Of course, I think even for us, that's the most important metric that we're all constantly looking at. For education financing, it's actually at 0%, which to a lot of people, even in Pakistan, that's a big surprise. And for other products, this is around 1.5% compared to local benchmarks of around 10 to 15%. So, we have been very careful in terms of how we grow, very careful in terms of, how we process the data. And so far, it has worked out. So, the foundation is really good and allowing us to expand further moving on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for the insightful questions and thank you for the inspiring presentation.
Thank you.
네, 4조의 마지막 기업이죠. 저희 웰스라이즈를 무대 위로 모셔보겠습니다. Please join me in welcoming WealthRyse to the stage for their pitch.
Hi, we're WealthRyse, and we offer an AI co-pilot which enables every financial advisor to be able to provide advice to their clients effortlessly. As a result, wealth managers and advisors will be empowered to provide tailored and predictive portfolios that stand out to their end clients. Now, you may think that financial planning is a solved problem with the sheer number of players in the market. But if you're a regular guy like me who worries about retirement, savings, my family, then you know that's not true. Altogether, the total addressable market of private wealth in the world is $140 trillion US dollars, and it's growing at 5 to 7% per annum. Despite this demand, the supply of professional advice that is actionable has not grown as fast, which means that the market is underserved by as much as 60%. Now, platform providers, robo-advisors, market data providers, and other fintechs all have a place to play in the market and the wealth management ecosystem. But do they really help advisors provide financial advice that is scalable and understandable? Unlike most fintechs, which mostly aggregate financial products, our AI co-pilot produces a tailored, predictive, and automatic portfolio on demand. We are the only pure-play AI co-pilot company that has our own proprietary neural network. Our AI was developed by the same team that coded the AI at one of the largest asset managers in the world. We are not fintech. We are the next generation. We are AI investech. And we figured out a way to apply the business so that we are able to work together with advisors and wealth managers to deliver made-to-order portfolios to their clients. How? By offering wealth portfolios with the best possible performance at a fraction of the cost through our subscription model. As a result of our business model, we are winning clients. We have a healthy pipeline for the next several years. And despite being just 6 months old, we have already onboarded several notable clients. So then what's the winning formula? Results for advisors and wealth managers as their revenue, client engagement, success rates all have gone up multiple times, and in some cases more than 3 times as a result of using our AI Copilot. Now, we're tackling a difficult problem. That's true. It's the Pandora's box of wealth management. But I believe that our experienced team from Harvard, Stanford, Princeton, and NYU, along with our diverse backgrounds in law, investment banking, and asset management, where one of my co-founders was actually a portfolio manager at BlackRock, along with coding the multi-asset functionality for BlackRock's AI, which is Aladdin, that manages $20 trillion in assets, along with the 19 awards that we have won in 6 months that have exemplified our technology, including being the first Asian company that was seeded by Mucker Labs, which is the second-ranked Accelerator program in the US, right behind Y Combinator. We believe that we have a chance. We expect our revenues to grow 10 times next year, along with being cash flow neutral. And we believe that everybody deserves world-class wealth management services. And so do the advisors and wealth managers that believe in our AI Copilot. If you're interested in learning more, please come find us. Thank you.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation. Now let's get on with the Q&A session with our judges.
Thank you for your inspiring presentation. Many AI companies will be focusing on the AI agents, and the wealth management is one of main their key focus on that. So I'm wondering that in terms of data that you can gather from now, what is different from others?
It's the sheer number and the amount of data that we are actually processing in terms of unstructured and structured data. It is a neural network that operates off of graph theory, Lagrangian theory network, which essentially means that the AI gets taught only the new pieces that it needs to provide for. So the way that we look at it is, if you have a portfolio, Jin, and you have 10 portfolio managers managing your portfolio, they probably will come up with a pretty good result. But I'm telling you, if I give you 1,000 portfolio managers that don't sleep, don't eat, don't rest, and they're working tirelessly to gather the most intimate and salient data for your portfolio, from a statistical perspective, I'm pretty sure that the latter team would probably have a better chance of optimizing your portfolio. That's what we're doing. And that's how we're helping these advisors sell more advice, because they have a tough job. McDonald's, they just have to sell hamburgers. Nike, they just have to sell shoes. But these guys have to sell the future for the people that believe in them.
Quick question. Why go through the advisors?
Well, again, I think it's a matter of the B2C versus B2B. If this were the United States, where everything is Roth, IRAs, 401k plans, where all the tax regimes are uniform, blue sky laws all over the place are pretty similar, this would be a great model. But in Asia, the rest of the world, the Middle East, Latin America, where it's fragmented, different regulations for different people, different tax assets and other stuff, that's, I think, we're trying to enhance and collaborate. I don't think that wealth management, and maybe I'm wrong, is the area for disruption. People are used to doing things a certain way, and we just want to be extension through using AI and that technology. And maybe if I could, and if it could indulge me, we prepared a very short video. 비디오 좀 틀어주세요. Well, we can actually
Hi,
send
this
this.
is Genesis, your predictive analytics AI engine.
Imagine
I
your
hope you have a wonderful
portfolio
day,
manager
and let's
being
give you
able
a
to,
1-minute summary of
send
your
these types of
portfolio
videos
today.
to you every month, periodically. Maybe in English, maybe in Mandarin. We did this in 10 minutes with an outside provider. This is AI generated, so please understand. And he's essentially talking about a Korean portfolio. Or maybe you don't understand Mandarin and English.
당신의 포트폴리오는 올해부터 5%의 수익을 창출했습니다. 동일 기간 동안 KOSP 200 지수는 3%의 수익을 창출했습니다. 즉 당신은 2%로 성과를 능가했습니다. 잘 하셨습니다.
This is the technology that we want to bring to Korea and the rest of the world.
한국말을 알아듣으신가 한국말로 해도 될 것 같은데요.
네.
말씀하신 대로 그런 툴들이 지금 너무 많아서 지금 뭐 국내에서도 로봇 어드바이저 회사들끼리도 금융위에서 경쟁을 1년 동안 실제로 수익률 낸 다음에 평가를 해서 그 평가 데이터를 가지고 이제 하거든요. 그럼 이제 저희의 말씀하신 그런 퍼포먼스를 어떤 식으로 증명을 하시고 표시를 해주신지가 첫 번째 질문이고요. 둘째는 이제 고객이 아마 인디비주얼 인베스터나 뭐 여기 홈페이지 보면 인스티튜션 어드바이저, 뭐 프로페셔널 매니저, 뭐 개인은 이해가 가는데 이 기관 투자가들을 상대를 하시는 거고 여기에 이제 서브스크립션 피를 받으시겠다는 건데 그러면 어떤 서비스가 제공이 되기 때문에 이런 프로페셔널 분들한테도 돈을 받을 수 있는 건지 그 두 번째 질문.
네, 알겠습니다. 영어로 좀 대답하겠습니다. So the first question was essentially there are many robo-advisors in Korea. We have 40 seconds left, so I'll try to be fast. And how are you differentiated? Well, our AI is from the world's largest asset manager, and we can prove the performance based off of scientific and statistical data that we can provide at a whim, and it's completely transparent. The second point in terms of addressing institutional investors and all these other people that may want to use our system, essentially these people are managing many, many assets, and we're helping them by essentially adding on a couple of hundred more business analysts to enable them to do this more efficiently. Thank you.
Thank you for your brilliant Q&As, and thank you WealthRyse for the exciting pitch.